We are live! Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Show Must Go On line. Today's guest is Mary Lauren. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you doing?
Doing so much better now that we're chatting.
Yay.
Yay. How has quarantine been for you? What a big statement to start with.
Oh, how do I answer that? Oh my God. I mean, stressful and sad and all of those things. But also encouraging. And it has inspired me. All the time that I've had has inspired me to do what I really want to be doing, which has been really great. Yeah.
And we will talk all about that. You have been so busy, which truly, especially for quarantine, is like such an odd thing to be able to say, but is so wonderful as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. For me, there was just something about having time, which I had never had in my entire life.
Yeah.
Like my whole life has been busy, which is wonderful. But like I had the time to sit back and be like, wow, yeah, now I can focus on really what I want to be doing. Yeah.
Yep. No, I totally feel that. I mean, it's like this weird combination of, oh, I have all the time in the world. What can I do in this? And also like relax maybe a little bit because we have the time. What?
Right. Yeah. I'm still working on that one.
Yep. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
Okay, good. Please. Oh my God. Yeah.
So I feel like we just jumped right in, but let's take it back a second and start at the very beginning, a very good place to start. And let's hear your origin story. What got you into music and musical theater and acting and all that jazz?
So I started at a very young age. My mom is a performer in like musical theater, all of the works, and worked at Disneyland and was Mary Poppins, which is where my name comes from. Yes. And my grandfather also started a theater program at Chapman University and was a writer and lots of things. So it's in my family. So when I was 2 years old, I started ballet. And I was the kid that was always making people do shows. So I was always like the director, my cousins and my brother, I forced them to do shows. Yeah. And then at like 5, I started doing musical theater because my mom got a job teaching. So I grew up at like a children's theater and was doing 3 shows, sometimes 4 shows a year. So that's how I began. And always loved it though. It was never my mom like pushing me at all. It was more that I was like, I want to do this, which is, yeah, really good. I grew up in California. So I did that in California and some commercials with my mom too. She would like take me along. Yeah, which was great.
Wow. What a fabulous origin story. Obsessed.
I mean, then I also did it in high school. I went to college for musical theater and like all that stuff as well. But yeah.
And continuing the Disney part, I saw on your resume that you like won this Disney thing. Tell us about that.
Oh gosh, I haven't talked about that in a long time. Yeah, in junior high, I continued to do it. I loved Disneyland. Like that was the place that I would be at all the time. Because my mom worked there. And then after that, I had a pass. So this is a funny story, but I would go and just like do my homework at Disneyland. It was like the safe place for me. I would just sit there and like be super happy. So in junior high, I was in choir and there was some sort of big choir competition, singing vocal competition. I don't know. And I went and I like won that. But I also got a scholarship from Disney out of high school as well. So yeah, they've been very helpful to me in that regard. Yeah.
I'm speechless. Doing homework at Disney. Amazing.
Yeah. I used to like judge my boyfriends off of if we could like have a day at Disneyland.
What a standard to hold is it's like, oh yeah, are you going for the cotton candy? Are you going for the rides? Do you want to meet them? Like what were kind of some of those checking off points?
So like if you can't stand in line for like an hour and have a good conversation, like that's not going to work. If they were like, super like impatient and like couldn't handle like, you know, waiting in line. That was never good. If they got too tired for me, that wasn't a good thing either. I'm getting older now though, so like I would get it.
Now you understand.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow, this is not how I expected to start the conversation, and I love it.
Me neither. I did not know I was going to tell those stories.
This is so great. And especially with Disney opening back up, I mean, certain parts were already open, I guess, but I think that was Florida. California, like, just opened. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Wow. I saw like a bunch of my friends all so excited to be walking on Main Street and stuff. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, okay, you're named after Mary Poppins, but what's your favorite musical / Disney product?
Beauty and the Beast. Like, I think about it for a while. I could, but that's always like what I come back down to. I wanted to be Belle when I was a little girl, and I love the musical so much. Yeah.
I have to see. I'm so my headphones just died on me, even though they've been plugged in. Hold on 1 second. I'm so sorry. Technical difficulties. We are just gonna We are gonna see if just the speakers here are gonna be good for that. All right. How's this?
Testing. Are you there?
Awesome. Okay. So you know what? This is like live theater. The show must go on. Sometimes your headphones just stop working.
Hey,
we're here.
We are here. Yes.
So, okay. Was that Beauty and the Beast that you said?
That was Beauty and the Beast that I said. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I always felt like Belle with the long brunette hair and books and fantasy worlds.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I got the opportunity to choreograph it as well, and I just like fell in love with the Gaston song. Like, it's still one of my favorite songs I've ever choreographed. I love Beauty and the Beast.
Ooh. So you are not just an actor, singer, you're a choreographer, you're everything. I mean, you run so many different aspects of your life. You are a multi-hype.
What? A multi-hype. I am a multi-hype. That is how we met.
That's how we met. So for anyone watching and they're like, why are they getting so excited about this? It's because we took this wonderful course, multi-hype, and it's for people who are not just boxed into one area, that you do so many different things. And I learned so much, and I'd love to hear from your point of view, like, how did you get involved with that? And what have you really like learned and taken away from it?
Oh my gosh, that was so important that the class couldn't have come at a better time for me. Like, seriously. Because I've always been like this. I've always wanted to do a million different things. Like everything. I've wanted to act, sing, dance, write, produce, do whatever I can do, host, I don't know, anything. I've always been like, yes, I can do that. And I love doing things. Like, so it's never really been a bad thing. I've never been like, I can juggle and not learned how. No, but seriously though, I was in the process of like building a theater company and doing all these things. And I'd grown up being told that you could only be one thing. And when I moved to the city, right away, which was great, but not ever what I expected. Right away, I got recommended for a choreography job, which was wonderful. And I did that for like 6 years, like straight was just choreographic shows, which was great, but was not like ever my intention. Really, I wanted to be on stage, which I did as well. But I always felt like that was wrong. Like I felt like, oh, well, if I'm doing this, no one's going to ever see me as this. And so this class was incredible because it made me be like, no, I can do whatever I want and I can be super strong and do all these things. I met Kimberly, oh my goodness, a long time ago. I'm still trying to remember. We're friends. We have like lots of mutual friends in common. So I think that's how we met. I don't remember how we met, but I've known her for like 8 years or something. Like seeing at her auditions, and then I was in her agent class a few years ago. And she helped me brand a few years before that. So weird, she helped me brand. No. yeah, so that's how I got involved with it. She like was great. She like kept like every time she was like, Mary, you need to be in this class. Mary, you need to be in class. So thank you, Kim, for doing that. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Having someone who will just kind of like, hey, this is a good opportunity for you. And like similarly with Michael Kushner, he's like, Sho, I really think this would be right up your alley. And it's always funny when someone's doing something and you're like, are they really doing it because they think I would be, or they're just like looking for people? And then he would like list like, I think you would get this and this and this out of it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. This is like a personalized request. And truly, I mean, the people I've met have just been wonderful. And like the changing of the mindset, like it's not only that you can be multiple things, it's that you already are. So you should live it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The community that with all these people is just incredible. Like seriously, I have been telling all of my friends who are multi-hypes that they must take it. Yeah. My friend he just started a incredible YouTube channel, Broadway by Ghostlight. He was like, I don't know if I'm a multi-hype. And I was like, yes, you are. So I was just telling him about that as well.
Writing that down. Gonna check that out.
Oh, definitely do. It's really, you will like it. I promise. Yeah. He knows everything about musical theater. Mark Bonanni, I'm going to shout you out. He knows everything about musical theater. So he's like a historian and all of that stuff. And he worked merch a long time for Broadway shows. So he's got just really good stories. And his wife is a dresser. So she's a Broadway dresser. Yeah.
Obsessed already.
Yeah. He was my high school boyfriend. We went to Disneyland a lot.
He was good at waiting in line.
He was.
I'm going to have to interview him at some point, and we will be talking about this.
Good. It's good. We're really great friends now. So it's
Could you imagine I bring that up and he's like, so this has been a great interview.
Too funny.
That is too funny. Okay, so we're going to get into all the different multi-hypes that you're doing. And hello to anyone who's watching. We have Andy is saying hello. Feel free to comment. And if you have any questions, drop them in. We will be getting to them throughout. And we'll be getting a little performance a little later. Ooh. So let's talk about acting and off-Broadway and everything. I mean, you've just done so many performances. It has just been really incredible to see.
Thank you. Yeah. There were a few years there where like people would always make fun of me because I would never had any time. They'd always be like, oh, what are you in now? What are you doing now? Which was really wonderful. Let's see. How do I even start this? I've done a lot of really good new works. I love being involved in new works. There's something really special about creating your own character. I was in this really, really dramatic, beautiful new piece, which wasn't for everyone, called Believers, where I played a mother who had a child who just couldn't feel and would like hurt themselves a lot. So it was dealing with her, like losing her faith. And then like, what is she going to do about this child? Was this beautiful piece that every other scene was the younger version of them. So it was like them meeting, the couple meeting and like falling in love. And then our part was then things aren't going so well. But that was pretty special. That was the workshop theater. Really special piece. I loved doing that. I've done a bunch of silly shows off Broadway at St. Luke's. I was in the Jackie Mason musical, which is about Jackie Mason's life, which is very fun and silly. I played a waitress who tap danced. Yes. What else? Oh goodness, so many things. A few years ago went to Annapolis and was in Hamlet, which I absolutely loved. I love Shakespeare. It's interesting. I grew up musical theater and then after college really wanted to do straight theater and actually found that was a really good home for me. So I've been focusing on that a lot as well. Gosh, what if I don't know. It's so weird to answer this question, huh? It's like
I'm looking, I saw you also did Gypsy.
Oh, Sorry.
Oh, that whole thing.
Oh yeah, that thing. Yeah, that was my favorite show I've done in the city. You know, hey. No, actually, that was a really special. I'll explain. That was a really special show. I have been working in the Secret Theater for 8 years now. It's actually my eight years. I saw today that I started. I started a different show. It was like my first show I did there, and then I got hired on as the teacher. So I helped to build the Secret Theater Academy that's been running for like 8 years. Yeah, which is really great. They also do professional, like off Broadway shows there. And I've been wanting to do Gypsy my whole life. It's one of my favorite musicals. And the idea popped up into my head and then into like a friend of mine's head. And we mentioned it to Richard Mazda, who owns the Secret Theater. And he's like, well, let's do it. So what made it super special is that my students also got to be in the show. So on top of getting to play Louise, which is a dream role of mine, I got to work with my students who I'd been teaching. Like they got to play younger me, and we got to it was really fun to be like professional Mary actress, not like teacher actress with them, which was really cool. And we had, oh my gosh, an incredible cast. And one of my best friends, Rick Hamilton, he's the person that 6-year stint I mentioned about choreographing, he was the director. So we worked together as a team for 6 years or longer. We still do projects together whenever we can. But he was the director of that piece. So yeah, it was really special.
That is so neat. And it really goes to show, too, that you can use these different multi-hyphenates together.
Yes, correct. I just forgot right before the pandemic. It's been weird this year. I forget things.
Yes.
Yeah. What I was doing right before all of this happened, a show that I wrote, a short piece that's 20 minutes, was in a festival. And so we were up performing that right before everything happened. But that was great. So speaking of using your multi-hyphenate, it was really cool to be able to do a piece I wrote and be in it and all of that. So.
Ooh, that's so exciting, getting to do everything. And yes, and people are saying, hello, hi, Steven.
Hello, that's my boyfriend.
Yes. Have y'all been to Disney yet?
We haven't.
This is Steven. This is gonna be a big moment here.
Oh no. He's probably watching. He's like, uh-oh, I gotta be on my best behavior.
I know. Gotta make sure Mickey and Minnie, they're cool, everything's good. Yeah. Get the stamp of approval.
It's be funny.
And I see Andy saying it was a weird year all around. 100% things that you are just used to doing. And especially now that things are slowly coming back together. We were talking at the beginning about trying to find that combination of rest and work. And there's this weird thing going on in my brain now where I'm like, oh, I need to be doing everything that I was already doing and making sure I'm getting back into the swing of things. And it's just it can be a lot.
Yes. Oh my gosh. This past 2 weeks, I kind of lost my mind a little bit. Because I got another job on top of producing the show I was producing. And then I was actually seeing people in person. And it was just this whole thing. I was like, wait a minute. I'm not ready. What is happening? Yeah.
I know. We Andy and I, and my boyfriend, John, we went to see In the Heights, a screening for it, which was so phenomenal on so many levels, but also wait, we're going to a cinema, we're seeing a show, we're all wearing masks. It was at half capacity and everyone was socially distanced, but it was still we are all vaccinated. I guess it's okay. As long as we're still being safe. It was just that was my first thing back.
Mm-hmm. How was it like?
Oh my gosh. Go see it when it comes out.
I will.
So
yeah. Oh, cool. That's awesome.
Do you have a favorite show that you've seen on Broadway, off Broadway, regional, anything like that?
My favorite show is The Fantastics.
Ooh.
That's my favorite, little, small off Broadway show. Yeah, I was very sad when it closed. Because I would just, if I was in a bad mood, it was very easy to just be go to the box office, get a ticket, and then sit and watch it. I found that show when I was like Louisa's age. So for me, it just was special. I read it in like a book. In like, I remember math class when I should have been doing my math class, but I was reading the Fantastics because I'm a nerd, and like fell in love with the show. Yeah, so I loved it before I'd even seen it, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yep, I feel that. We're getting amazing. So good. Yes. All the above. I've done that too, where I'm like, I could really see a show and I just would go to the box office and just see like who has rush tickets or standing room or anything that's like an affordable ticket, because honey, we need affordable.
Yes, that is for sure.
That is for sure. That is one of my big hopes when Broadway comes back and off Broadway and all these things, is that there's not only those rush tickets and lot and whatnot, but there are more ways for kids, especially, to be able to see shows and like be inspired for this to become their career.
Yeah, 100%.
So speaking of kids and acting and everything, tell us about your experience teaching and everything that you do in that world.
So I've been teaching forever. Like I said, I grew up at a children's theater, which the Music Room School of Performing Arts. If you're in Orange, California, Southern California, that's where you should go. Another shout out. So I have been like teaching and choreographing and directing and all of that since I was a kid. Like I would like step in and help, which I loved. It was really good practice. And I learned a lot from my mother, who's incredible. So now I have 4 jobs teaching. That's the extra job that I just mentioned I got. Luckily, I was very lucky that I was able to teach online this whole year. So I have actually been teaching more because I've been able to figure out how to Zoom teach musical theater and all of that. I've taught some camps and things, and even produced some shows with my kids at the Secret Theater. So the Secret Theater, I teach musical theater there, and drama and tap dance. And then I'm also the musical theater teacher at In Motion Dance Center, which is out in College Point, which is an incredible dance studio. And I'm a drama teacher at Queen's Paideia School. I'm like their after school drama teacher, which I love doing. And then I got this new job, which is really wonderful. And it's for kids in Queens. And they are with me, and they also have so I'm the drama teacher. There's a choreographer and there's a musician. And what we're doing is we're helping to facilitate a story for them. So they wrote a whole bunch of stories about superheroes, and I've been editing them and putting them all together. And the musician is going to write a song for them, and the choreographer is going to do a whole dance with them. They're great. This is the New Wave program. So that's the job I mentioned I just started, that I was like, I have so many jobs. But it's wonderful. Yeah, it's great. Like I've mentioned to people that even if I was a bajillionaire, I would still want to be like teaching and inspiring kids. So yeah.
And it truly sounds like it just comes from the heart, and it's something that you're able to connect with these kids on such a deep level.
Oh, thank you. A lot of it, my family are teachers. They're all like really great teachers. But also, I grew up in that experience, and it was so important to me to have a safe space when I was a kid. So it's important to me to create one for these kids.
And having someone from the kid's perspective who really gets it, that was on that side as a kid, and it doesn't just feel like it's so big. Like you can also make it so small and be like, well, when I was 9, I was doing this, and it can actually make them feel like there's this path that doesn't just feel like, oh, when I'm X age, I should be doing this. Like, no, this is a good journey that you can go on.
Right. Yeah, it's great. I've always been the kind of teacher that doesn't, oh, yay, puppy.
Hey, Simbo. We have a Simbo cameo.
I've always been like the teacher, also choreographer, like director, all those things I don't like to talk down to people. So like with the kids, like they're my friends, like not in a uncomfortable level, but like they're my, like, I'm going to talk to them like they're people, which is very important to me. And I feel like that creates also a safer space as well.
100%. A kid, especially if they're like doing something that feels relatively professional, they're like, why are you still treating me like a kid and then asking me to do this thing? Like, it feels way more comfortable when everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Last year we did a big production of Annie with the kids, which was really wonderful. Yeah.
Aww,
yeah.
Lovely. Mm-hmm. So tell us about Heartstrings Theatrical.
So this is the thing I keep talking about, where I was like, I decided I was going to do what I want to do this year. I've always wanted my own theater company ever since I was a little child, and thought it would be something that would happen later in my life. Like, I would have my whole big, huge career, and then like when I'm 60, I'd be like, I'm going to start a theater company and be tired and sit around on my wheelchair. I don't know what I'm saying right now. No, but like that's what my plan was, for that to be later. But I realized that I have the resources and the ability to do so. So this pandemic, I wanted to have opportunities for performers to perform and just feel like a sense of community. So the first week after we were all stuck in quarantine, I just wanted to start doing readings. So I got a bunch of my friends, actors I know, actors from the Matthew Corzine studio. I was in the middle of taking acting class there too, so they were also involved. And so we've done like 50 something readings of plays, all different kind of plays, classical pieces and like modern works. Everything. We did Doll's House last week, which was really fun. So after doing all of those, I was like, wow, I should probably do something with this. So I then also began to host cabarets, just like where to make money for charities, and using this platform, actually StreamYard, which has been incredible to use. Yeah. My first one was for the NAACP, and then we did for the ACLU. Then I produced more of a piece with short plays and some choreography, some film, some musical works. So like stuff from a new musical called McGurk Suicide Hall. My good friend Evan wrote that. So that was a big show. And then a Christmas show, which was really fun. Had like 20 something, there were a lot of performers in it. I think like 25 performers, which was really fun. And I choreographed a tap number that people did from their homes, and then I put it together. So that was cool. And yeah, so then Heartstring, my boyfriend helped me. We worked a lot together. He is an incredible graphic designer and also like event planner. So, but big, huge events. So he knows how to do like sets. So we've been talking all about that as well. But so we worked together a lot on the logo for Heartstring and things like that, which was exciting. And had our first kind of big-ish event last week. I think it was last week, yeah, which was really fun, called Loving You Always, where we filmed some stuff in the park. We had some live performers. Oh, my boyfriend is also a beautiful poet. So his poetry was at the end. We did this kind of cool piece with his poetry. Yeah, so Heartstring, I want to be, again, it all is connected, a safe space where like stories can be told, everybody's story can be told and heard. Yeah.
Everything you're saying just makes me feel so warm, knowing that there's someone who has all this talent and is also looking out for other people.
Oh, thank you.
I mean it. And I love seeing it. I watched the Loving You Always, and I thought that was really great.
Thank you. I appreciate you watching it. But thank you so much. Yeah. I can't wait to get like in person. I can't wait to have the opportunity to like really do stuff, which is exciting. But the cool thing about these cabarets and the way it's all worked is I've been able to work with performers all over. So like my mom, who lives in California, was able to be in some of them. Some of my friends who I've missed from California I've been able to perform with them this year, which is crazy. Like grandparents that haven't seen me perform in forever actually were able to, because they, can't come out to New York. So that's been cool. That's been a good.
I love the accessibility factor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's something that I hope will continue on, that even when we have these wonderful in-person events, like I usually film everything. And I think it's this wonderful thing because it doesn't take away from wanting to be there in person. I've always said this, that there's nothing like a live performance. So I will 100% of the time, if I'm able to be there in person, I will. And then if I'm not able to, or other people aren't able to, it's wonderful that there's a video component. So I hope that continues.
So do I. Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting transition with equity and SAG and like all of that. And it's been really messy. But yeah, I hope that they come to some really good decisions, because this is a great platform for all of us. Actually, my next project is a project where they're trying to work on stuff like that. I think my friend Trevor might have contacted you, actually. Yeah.
Next week we're chatting.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, good. Yeah, he wasn't sure yet. So my next big project, and I'm excited about it, actually. Hoping, they have to raise the money and do all of those things that you have to do. But they want to take old chestnut shows that are like in the public domain and then film them, and then be able to it will be filmed. And so it's like a hybrid of theater and film, which I think is wonderful. And hopefully they do it in the right way. But so we're doing, it's 7 Keys to Baldpate, which is exciting. And I'm playing a character, which I'm super excited about. I love playing characters who have like a secret and are not what they seem. And my character is that, for sure.
I am so excited.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. Yeah, they're going to be doing lots of like crowdfunding and things soon. Loving You Always also, I am in the process of writing an immersive piece that uses music from the public domain. That song, Loving You Always, was the whole reason that whole cabaret came around, because I saw that it was in the public domain, and it's my parents' song. And it's always been like a special song, also to our family. But I'm excited about possibly getting a big warehouse space and just creating something that's like super safe but interesting, and all that stuff.
I can't wait to see what happens. I will watch what happens with glee.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So speaking of wonderful performances, might we get one now?
Sure.
as you're drinking your water, yes. As I drink break, everyone.
Yes, let me just have another sip of this.
Yes, please.
This song is actually very appropriate to everything we have been talking about today. Here we go. Dancing in the backyard, Kool-Aid mustache and butterfly wings, hearing Andrea McCardle sing from the hi-fi in the dead. I've been waiting my whole life to find a way back to bed. I aimed for the sky, a 9-year-old can see so far. I'll conquer the world and be a star. I'll do it all by the time I'm 10. I would know that confidence if I knew a way back to bed. So I bailed on my hometown and became a college theater dork. I was eastbound and down, moving to New York. So I crammed my life in a U-Haul to find my part of it all. But the mundane sets in. You play by the rules and plow through the days. The years take you miles away from the time you wondered when you'd find a way back to bed. And when you least expect, opportunity walks through the door. You suddenly connect with a thing that you forgot. that you've been looking for. And there you are, right in the middle of what you love, with the craziest of company. You're having a kick-ass time and being who you wanted to be in this world. You're that little girl with her wings unfurled, flying again. Back in the backyard dancing, I found a way back to then. Thank you.
Yay! Brava! Brava!
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you. Oh, I saw a title of show when I was out here in like 2008. I just remember like bawling the whole time. Yeah. Yeah.
It's one of those that I very much wish I could have seen.
I felt really lucky. I didn't know anything about it at all.
Wow.
It was just like, it was you have like a week of like New York and you're going to a bunch of shows that you know about. And then there's like one more day and you're like, what is this? I don't know. Let's just buy a ticket. So I was so happy that I got to see it. I love those shows, those like small shows that have so much heart. Those are my favorite.
Oh yeah. It's very different, but it's making me think of when I was, sorry, allergies. One moment here.
Water break.
When I was in the city back, like, I'm trying to think of time, 15 years ago or so, with my camp friends, and we were trying to figure out what show to see, and all of a sudden someone came up with one of those little ticket things and said, do you want to see 13? And we're like, oh, I don't know about this. And my friend Jackie was like, oh, I've heard good things. And we just like went on a whim. We got Student Rush, and truly one of the coolest experiences. And I love those moments where you're just like, let's see what happens.
Yes. I feel like those are the shows that you find that you like love forever and ever. I knew nothing about Chaplin, had no idea. And Mark Bonanni, who I keep talking about, who should take the multi-hype class.
Take it.
He had a ticket, or I think maybe Lacey was costuming, and just like last minute was like, here, go. And so I remember walking in, the show was just starting, and then that is now one of my favorite shows as well.
This is phenomenal. So to anyone watching right now who's thinking, should I have a set schedule when I go visit New York or when I go to see performances? And the answer is like partially. Like if there's something that you really, really want to see, grab those tickets, make sure that that's set, because if you really want to see something and then for some reason you can't get tickets last minute, you don't want that to happen. But you should always have like one extra time slot that if something comes up that you can go see.
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of, you'd be surprised how incredible off-Broadway shows are. Yes. Off-Broadway shows. Those are the ones that you're always like standing there at TKTS like, what is that? I don't know, but it's up there. Maybe you should go.
Go. Please.
Yes. Yeah.
I know. Mm-hmm. We did that with The Wrong Man last year and just was blown away.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's so good. But enough with all of these things. Let's talk more about you.
Okay.
So I was watching your YouTube channel because it's great and you have some wonderful videos up there. And I saw this Sunday in the Park with George performance and I need to talk about it.
Oh, thank you.
Do you have like a history with this show? Is it just something that you really wanted to do? Because it was beautiful.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I'm glad that you're talking about that show because I love that show. I did one of my first shows out of college was Sunday in the Park with George. I was Celeste #1 at the Chance Theater, which is an incredible theater in Anaheim Hills. They're fantastic. And it was one of those shows that is just everyone got along and it was beautifully produced. My dad, who's an incredible like theater supporter, but I thought like, he's not going to like this show. So just like fell in love with the show. So I fell in love with the show also back then. I won't say what year that was. But I've always wanted to play Dot. And I've just started working on all that music, and would love to produce or be in that show. And that was with, I did that at Seth Bisson-Hirsch's cabarets. That was right, I think, not that long before everything happened. Actually, I think that was my last cabaret performance. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm actually, I'm singing live on May 25th at Don't Tell Mama in Seth Bisson-Hirsch's cabaret, which is exciting. And maybe I will sing that. I've been trying to decide what I'm going to sing. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, so Sunday in the Park with George, one of my favorite shows. It's beautiful.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, I hope you sing that or whatever you feel comfortable with. But that was a really great performance, and y'all can watch that on your YouTube channel.
That's so nice of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Did you see the revival?
Did I see the revival? The answer would be no. The answer would be no. And I think about that a lot. And I wish that there was like a video of it, like a legal video that we could watch, because that revival had some people that I would love to see.
I was really disappointed. I did not see it either. Yeah. It's funny. My college professor, she's probably like so happy. She assigned all of us to watch the Sunday in the Park with George, that movie. And for some reason, it was just like on a week when everybody was so busy and nobody could like focus on watching it. And I remember like, I only watched a little bit of it. I skimmed through it, which is terrible and not like me at all. And I remember she like asked our opinion, and I remember being like, well, I didn't really like the second act. I didn't understand why it connected with the first one. And now I feel so dumb because I mean, it's gorgeous and it completely connects with the first act. And I love the show. So thank you, Gail, for trying to get me to watch a show that I would eventually love.
All in good time, right?
Yeah. It's true. You figure like 5 years later, you're like, oh, that professor was smart.
I have certainly had that where you're like, oh yeah, no, I liked it. And you don't really expand. And then you finally see it and you call that person and you're like, oh my God, that was so good. And they're like, I told you to watch it so long ago.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing about quarantine that I've been catching up on, a lot of like older musicals that were filmed that I'm able to see now. And there are some really good ones out there. Did you know?
I did know. I love older musicals. Which ones did you catch up on?
Oh my gosh. Well, a lot. I should give a quick like caveat that I've seen a lot of these as a kid, but like as an adult, I don't necessarily remember the experience of seeing them. So like watching Cabaret again and being like, oh, right, that's why it's so good. And then what I saw so many, especially, oh my God, when I saw Fosse Verdon, like the TV show, then I also did kind of like a deep dive of what Fosse and Verdon musicals are out there on the interwebs, and, what can I see on Amazon and YouTube. And it's tough too, because some of them are like a bootleg and you're like, well, we don't support bootlegs, but also this is so true. I was watching just a performance and all of a sudden something started playing and I was like, oh, this is so cool. And then I later realized I was like, oh, that was just a bootleg that automatically played after like a clip from Broadway and Bryant Park. And I'm like, hey, I didn't click anything. It just popped up. And if I watched it, I mean, it would be rude of me to turn it off after it just magically appeared on my TV screen.
It's too funny. Yeah, I actually, so my boyfriend isn't a musical theater person as much. And so I've been like, this whole quarantine, been making him watch all these musicals. So like I've seen Sound of Music a million times, but like we watched Sound of Music, we watched Cabaret, which was really fun to watch Cabaret because that's one of my favorites as well. And so after watching Cabaret, I got inspired, and then we read I Am a Camera in our readings, which is what it's based on. And that was really fun. And it's really interesting to read that play. You don't like Sally even more so in the play. I love her, but you know what I mean? She's very self-centered. But so yeah, the play's really good.
Ooh, I just wrote that down.
Yeah. one more, I just remembered one thing that I want to make sure I say. So when I first moved to New York, on top of the choreographing, I was also doing these incredible shows. So this reminded me because I love old movies and I love old musicals, and I'm a big, that's like, I feel like I'm such a nerd. We talked about Disney earlier. Now we're talking about but I love old movies. Big fan. I know lots of trivia, because I grew up watching them. One of my first jobs as a performer in New York was working for St. George Living History Productions, and they're out on Long Island, and they're incredible. And I've got to play characters like Ginger Rogers and Natalie Wood and Giselle McKenzie, who was a singer back in the 60s. The reason I'm saying this is that on the 17th, they're doing this really incredible, they're calling it a Salathon. His name is Sal, who's in charge of the whole company. 24 hours of all the performers that have performed from him in the past are going to perform or talk to him. He's been spending this whole year doing virtual museum tours of all over the world of old movie stars museums. So they've gone to the Ginger Rogers Museum to I'm trying to remember which other ones, a bunch of them. So on the 17th, I'm performing as well, which is going to be fun. Yeah, I'm tap dancing and doing stuff.
Ooh, I'm so glad you shared.
Yeah. I don't know what time yet, though, because it's they haven't told me yet, and it's 24 hours. So, and I'm a night owl, so it might be the time at 11.
Well, you'll have to post about it on social media and let us know.
I will, for sure. Yeah.
And speaking of social media, where can everyone find you?
Oh, okay. Let's see. You can find me on Instagram at Mary Lauren W. So there's just a W at the end. Or at Heartstring Theatrical. That's my new theater company, which I'm excited about. And I'm on Facebook at Mary Lauren. Pretty much if you look up Mary Lauren, you could find me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yay. And y'all can find me at Bway Sho. That's BWAYSHO. And Bway Sho podcast on all the things, which is so exciting. And all this old school trivia knowledge that you have, I'm going to keep that in mind because the Showtrons do weekly trivia. And if we ever have a 2-minute slot where we get a question about an old timey movie, I'm going to Facebook message you.
I will answer you.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
So now's the time where we talk about a nonprofit or charity that you'd like to shout out.
Oh, goodness. So there's so many. Loving You Always, we just raised some money for the Trevor Project, and they are a really incredible foundation helping LGBTQ youth. And I think that's a great one to donate to. Always the Actors Fund. Also, the NAACP and the ACLU have been incredible this year. And I really support them as well. Yeah. And all your little, all the theaters that need help. There's so many theaters that were running and successful, those off Broadway and off Broadway theaters. That's a good place to help.
Yes. There are so many places that I feel like we need to talk about, and all of those are so important for so many different reasons. And I appreciate you giving us that list.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. And especially like you're saying, support your local theater as well. Because we're talking about Broadway and off Broadway, and there's regional and there's community theater. And, a lot of these people that you get to know during these off Broadway productions, they started out at a smaller theater. And we want to make sure the youth of tomorrow are really getting those experiences as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yay. So is there anything else that you came into today wanting to make sure to say to all of your fans?
All of my fans. Well, I didn't plan on telling them about my Disneyland dating thing. No, I think I might have vomited it all out.
It was so wonderful.
It's so wonderful to talk to you. My goodness. It's great.
This has just been such a joy. I appreciate you saying yes and taking the time to chat with me today.
Oh my gosh, this is a complete joy. I can't wait to watch more of your shows. I watched I can't remember her name right now. That's terrible. The girl who's in Hamilton. I really
Sasha Hutchings.
Yes, I loved that. I remember I was up really late watching the whole thing because I loved it so much. It was really good.
Wow, thank you so much. You're so kind. Well, you are wonderful, and I appreciate everyone for tuning in today and commenting along. This has been so much fun. And the show must go online continues throughout quarantine and potentially beyond. What? I've decided, why should it just stop? When the world gets back to spinning again, we should continue it. So stay tuned for more information about that. And y'all can find everything that you need on bwaysho.com. And I thank you so much. You are wonderful. Everyone, please go check out your YouTube videos. Stay tuned to everything. Follow you on social media. You will not be disappointed.
Thank you.
Yes. All right, y'all. Take care. Be safe. Wear a mask. Get your vaccines. And we'll see you at the show.